All right, let's map out our Facebook, YouTube ad strategy. Let's start with the very basics here, and that is the fact that we are looking at we're looking at video ads. Okay, there's my video play button. Why video ads? Because if we're technology savvy and we have some sort of personality and we're charismatic, then it's the best way to build trust, build rapport, and make ourselves known as the knowledgeable expert. This is your opportunity to say, hi, my name is, and I'm from, and over the course of the last 10 years, I've done this, this, and this. You know, and in doing so, we're promoting something completely different. This is something that they're going to, after they're done, they're going to go look it up. And now your videos, your other videos are going to start getting plays. Right? And by default, we start selling accidentally. If you drive enough traffic to this, you're going to be selling product. You're going to be selling CDs. You're going to be selling the things that most people are trying to sell by selling something else. And this just becomes an ancillary byproduct of doing what we're doing now, is selling something at a higher value by giving people something that they're actively looking for. Everyone appreciates music, but not everybody's actively looking for it. But everyone is actively looking for a solution to a problem. And so let's go back to our original beginner guitar analogy. This is somebody who's really has a burning desire, or whose parent knows that their child has a burning desire to get started playing. So you might as well just keep going with that example, I think. So what are we going to do? We're going to drive traffic then. All right, so you're going to run through this video ad. You're going to introduce yourself, all of your major accomplishments, and the number one question that I most often get asked is, how do I, and what would I recommend if somebody wanted to X, Y, Z? And so for the first time ever, I'm going to break down my multi-step process for you, and I'm going to show you exactly what to do, step by step, from the beginning all the way through. So you don't have to do this on your own. You don't have to do it alone. I'm going to be walking you through it, the same exact process that I use and the one that I recommend for others. And then you're going to close with, by now you're probably wondering, how much is this all going to cost? After you really built up the value proposition, and you close with absolutely nothing. All you have to do is give me your email address below. It's my gift to you. Let me know where you want me to send the email with the link. And as soon as you click the link, you're going to have instant access to the whole course. So what are you selling? You're selling Module 1. Now you're not going to call it Module 1 because there's enough content there that it stands alone. It's a free course. We're talking about what? 10 videos approximately, give or take, and with play times in between 5 and 10 minutes in length. It's like 50 plus minutes worth of content. You banged it out in a day, but they don't know that. They feel like they're getting tremendous value for what they're paying, which is nothing. So you're selling Module 1. The mistake that people make when they're creating courses is they invest hours upon hours to sell something for free later on. It's too big an investment to wait until the whole thing is done. Don't wait till it's done. Get a module done and then sell it. Go promote it. So we're going to sell that for free, and then that's going to lead them to our one-time offer. All right, that's what comes next. So that Module 1 is going to then lead them to the one-time offer. Now, what's the one-time offer? That could be various things. But the most obvious choice is going to be the same thing that they already bought. So let me backtrack a minute and ask a question. Is this targeted market audience? Is this a targeted audience? Is this a highly targeted audience? Because the only person that would have opted in to get a free course in anything is somebody who's interested in learning that thing. You can't get a more qualified lead than this person who actually filled out that form. So of course they're extremely qualified. Of course they want to learn whatever it is that you're teaching. So the one-time offer could be more of that. So if you just gave them Module 1 for free, you can now offer them in your sales funnel modules 2 and modules 3 for $10. Remember, we broke that down at $10 per module, right? So 2 modules would be worth 20 bucks. We're going to offer to them for 10. And you got to let them know through another video that that's what you're doing. So you make them that one-time offer, and that's going to be in the form of a video. You're going to say, hey, thanks. I got that link. It's on its way to you right now. It should be hitting your inbox in the next 10 minutes. In the meantime, let me tell you a little bit more about what you're going to get. Here's what you can expect. And I got a special offer for you. Now, this is only available right now. If you don't buy it now, it's never going to be available again. You got to make sure that you're very clear about that. And you don't call them modules because you're devaluing it, you're depreciating it. Okay? You're going to call them courses. So what's module 2 called? What's that teaching? Break that down. You let them and you sell that. It's going to include this and this and this. The top 3 things to avoid, and my multi-step process to make sure that you XYZ every single time, even though you might not have any knowledge or experience about this particular thing. And if that's not enough, I'm going to throw in my other course that's going to teach you step by step and break it down, right? You're just going to go into detail, and you could spend 5 minutes just talking about all the value that you're going to be offering these courses. And because you took advantage of the free course, that the how to shop for a beginner guitar, I'm going to offer you these next 2 courses for just $9, $9.95, whatever you want to do. And that's at the point in which we desire to recuperate our ad spend to acquire that email address. Because ideally, we don't want to spend money on acquiring email addresses, even though they're extremely valuable. So, not everybody's going to buy this, but a high percentage may be likely to if the price point is low enough. We're just talking about a $10 upsell here. That's it. Which we wouldn't even consider to be an upsell because that comes later on. That's after they purchase that. After they purchase it. After they make that purchase, then comes the upsell. And we'll talk about that more. So what's the other thing? What happens when you got all of the modules done? Well, when all the modules are done, you're now going to drive you're going to drive that traffic to the crowdfunding campaign. Okay, so you were giving away the first module for free, and then you offered them a one-time offer to get the second and third modules, which you're calling courses in this context, for 10 bucks. But now you can drive them to the crowdfunding campaign because the whole thing is built. The whole crowdfunding campaign is done at this point. Now, it's not upon launch. We're going to run traffic to here, to module 1, while the crowdfunding is being built. Now, again, the other course, the more advanced course, that could be being built simultaneously. It is a lot of work. It is tedious. It's time consuming. But when it's done and it's running and it's automated, you wake up to an inbox with cash in it. Seriously. Okay? It has to be done right. But when it's done right and it's done well, these orders will be coming in. People will be buying while you're sleeping your one-time offer at 10 bucks. And so and eventually you're gonna roll that in that recuperated investment back in. You're gonna reinvest. So you'll start out selling 1, and you're like, oh, that's cool. I made 10 bucks. No big deal. But that 1 becomes 10, and then you get up in the morning like, oh, well, cool, like $100. It's not a lot of money, but like it's a great way to start the day, right? Because I didn't do anything for it. I mean, I did the work one time, and I'm getting paid again and again and again, and that's a pretty sweet deal once you get that working. And that 100 eventually turns to 1,000. And then when you start making $1,000 a day without having to do anything, then you start rethinking some of life's choices, and you go, do I really want to do this other thing when I got this going on? And it eventually seems like a no-brainer. And at the same time, you're promoting the music and you're promoting the message. It's all built in. It's all built in. right? Because you're announcing who you are without saying, hey, buy my CD. You're going to, by default, you're going to be selling CDs. You got to factor that into the equation too. The one-time offer is $10, but you never know how many of them are going to actually buy a CD. It's going to require some testing, so it's difficult to predict the exact numbers, but the numbers will work after you develop some synergy in these various campaigns and these cross-platform pollination occurs, and then at some point it starts to pick up momentum. So then the crowdfunding campaign is going to take them to the crowdfunding landing page, and there they could pay you whatever they want. They could donate $5, right? And they could donate $10, but they could also donate 20, 50, 100, right? So at that point, you don't have the one-time offer going on. Are you still running to Module 1 for free? Perhaps you're running to both of these simultaneously. Because if Module 1 ad is running, then why not? Now again, this is YouTube also. Facebook and YouTube, same ad, possibly same landing page. It will require some minor split testing, but nothing too difficult. How you set up your Facebook ad campaign can be critical to get this converting optimally. So knowing exactly, how many campaigns, how many ad sets, and how many ads within each ad set that's kind of a science within itself, and that's going to require an individual strategy. But it's premature to go too deep into that right now because there's still a lot of unknowns here. But this is the general idea, and we do every one of these things. Everything I share, we do. So you shouldn't at all feel lost, like I don't really know where to go with this or how to do this. You can take it anywhere you want and say, look, this is what I want you guys to do, or we can do it for you. And of course we discount those services when we've already done this part of it. We've already figured this stuff out. We've already figured this out. Some of this is proprietary based on this particular account, and some of it is things that we've done multiple times before. But this particular system that I'm sharing here, we've only partially done. There's no reason that what I'm showing, video ads on Facebook and YouTube. Besides, let me backtrack again and say that besides building the trust and rapport and establishing yourself as the recognized expert through video, another reason why we like to run video ads is because they're cheap. Now, Facebook will give us targeting options that YouTube's not going to give us, but YouTube's a less expensive advertising platform than Facebook. So Facebook's going to get us a certain level of targeting. And YouTube, you're going to find that, you'll get, it's a different type of people, it's a different lead, still good, good, it's cheap traffic, cheap clicks, but Facebook people, they're going to be more inclined to opt in. They're bigger action takers. So you'll get a lot more views and a lot more clicks on YouTube, and those clicks will come at a much cheaper price. Facebook's going to be more expensive, but targeting options are far greater, and those people are most likely to take action. Both of them working simultaneously is a great option when you're dealing with some video campaigns, not all. Oftentimes I recommend doing a completely different ad for YouTube as is done on Facebook. But in this case, I don't think it's required. And it's a bit of a guess here, and it's impossible to know until it actually goes live. But I'm guessing the same exact video ad should perform well, and so it wouldn't require much to get them both set up and running simultaneously. So that's what I would recommend doing. Now, the crowdfunding one-time offer can still be made. You're going to have contact with these people through the crowdfunding platform, so there will be opportunities to sell to them later on. So we don't want to discount those opportunities there. But again, the whole entire course is already built at this point before we start driving traffic to the crowdfunding page. So it's important that as the course is being built, so is the crowdfunding campaign. You could do 2 crowdfunding campaigns in a year. In fact, I would count on it. I would create a course a year and run a crowdfunding campaign. Oftentimes, the second crowdfunding campaign that we do is more successful than the first. So I mean, if you raise, let's say, $10,000 in crowdfunding money, okay, it's not earth-shattering, but if you do that twice a year, that's 20 grand in a year that didn't exist before. And we've got all those people who are interested. We got all those people who have opted in, all those email addresses. So we're building the list and not paying for it, instead getting paid. And that's just one channel. So it's not, crowdfunding, that's 20,000. And then we make 20,000 somewhere else and then 20,000 somewhere else. Right? It's multiple, it's 5 times, 20,000 5 times, right? And we're at that 6-figure level, and that's really the goal, to really start scaling up at that point. How do we make this bigger? How do we make this better? And so these are the 2 initials, and we could go on. We could break this down into different ads and all kinds of different strategies. But if you plan too far out, what happens is you get distracted. Oftentimes people get distracted in all of the possibilities and all the options. It's great to stay focused on just a couple of things, just 1 or 2 things. Which platforms are we going to use? And how are we going to run this? Is it going to be static? Is it going to be video? We could do both. We could do both. One of the things I like about doing static ads is they happen immediately. Like we could actually run like today. Or video takes a little bit of time. So oftentimes when we want to get going really quick and the client says like, how fast can we get this off the ground? I say, well, we could throw up an ad right away. We just need to make sure that we have, a very basic funnel in order, and then we can start, capturing data and, and playing around with our different targeting options and building a list of people who are interested. So even if the module is not done yet, we could still be generating leads for people who are interested. So it can happen very quickly, and then they can get an email. You could have a couple of hundred new email addresses, fresh email addresses of people that we know are interested, and then as soon as module 1's done, we send them an email and then start running the video ad. So we're producing module 1 and the video for the ad simultaneously. And if you're ambitious enough, you could be working on 2 courses simultaneously and the crowdfunding campaign. And we're going to talk a little more about the crowdfunding campaign and how that page needs to come together. Well, I think that's already up. So I'm not sure what order these videos are going to be displayed in. So I'm sure it's there or it's on its way. And all this down here, this is completely unnecessary, because this is going to be, the next one is going to be based on the data from the 2 before it. So this really requires, a little bit more information in order for us to, we don't want to get too overzealous here. So we got the one-time offer, and then we got the over here. Okay, let's go back to that for a second. Module 1, one-time offer. What's the one-time offer? Let's say it's going to be 2 modules. This is probably what I would do. The next 2 modules, which we're calling courses in this example, for just $10. Can we get them to spend money? And then what do we do after that? After the $10? We move them right to the Facebook group. Okay, this is the free group. This is the free group. And now that they're here, they're going to be getting all kinds of, recycled content, but helpful content for in this case, the beginner guitarist, or whatever it is that you're doing a course for. They get dumped into the Facebook group. And remember, this works for this is effective in multiple industries, and this is a method that is proven that we're doing right now, and with a high degree of success. And everything that we've got mapped out here, this fits in perfect to that. There's no reason why this shouldn't work very well. So why not build that group? We're building that new group. We paid money, right, to get an email address to then make $10 and then get a new member to a group. That's a pretty good deal, especially if it only costs us, say, $1. If we could have spent $1 and made 10 back, and got an email address of somebody who is not only interested, but actually put some money behind it and made an investment, and then we made a 10 times return, and then got a new member to a Facebook group who we're going to upsell later to that $7 per month subscription, which is where all of your content, your course content lives, scattered about. So, you know, they buy into that, they stay 10 months, let's say, that's another $70 right there. You know, that wouldn't be bad, right? 70 plus the 10 plus the email address plus a member of the Facebook group. You know, this is stuff that people are doing for free right now. It's coming at a cost. They're spending money on advertisements, and they're not getting this kind of return. You know, they're not getting the email. It's not a targeted audience. You know, maybe they're getting an email address, but it's somebody who, you know, isn't spending money, who didn't spend any money. How do you afford to keep running ads that way? I don't understand how anybody operates that way. Now, maybe it costs us more than $1, but so what? What if it costs us $5? What if it costs us $10? Well, we got that back. And they're potential $7 a month. And then, of course, at some point in that course, you know, we're going to bring them in at $7 a month. We're going to upsell them the entire course at that $97. I don't know what happened to that decimal point right there. At that $97 price point right there. You know, that's the full-on course right there. And then the same ad, not the same exact ad to the crowdfunding campaign. Okay? Because remember in the first ad, we said, how much is this going to cost? Absolutely free. Well, you can't have that in your crowdfunding. All right? You have to end, you got to put a new ending on the video. This video has to have a new ending that says something like, to learn more, click below, right? And then you're going to drive that traffic straight to the crowdfunding landing page. And that's where they're going to go. And you're going to run these two simultaneously. And you're going to make whatever you make in the crowdfunding. You're going to utilize the other crowdfunding email, the cold email strategy, and warm email strategy that I had laid out simultaneously. And again, get help with this stuff if you can. If you can find the budget to get help with it, it'll just streamline the process. It'll get you there faster. Can you do this all on your own? Yes. But it can be daunting and it can be time consuming. Get this up and running, and because this is what we're after right here, all day long. This might seem like a really long, convoluted process to get here. It's not. It's just strategy. This is not as complicated as it looks when you know how to do it quickly. You know, you just get it done. You know, we want these, though. You know, we want the $97 sale, and we want this. Now, remember, if you're doing another one, if you're doing another course that's targeting the professional or the advanced user, you could get more than $97. You can get $199, $299, $349 when you're talking to people about advancing to another level in their career or in their music or whatever it is that they're doing. You know, if they're in an established band and it's a 5-piece band, they could take a $500, you know, investment and split it 5 ways. I mean, even if they're not profitable, they're a band, they're not making any money, but they're saying, hey, this is worth, yeah, it's worth $100 to me. Let's do this. I think this will really help us out. You know, and you got some good content with good value. Why not leverage that experience? You've got a ton of it. Use it. You know, and that's why I like the idea of running the 2 courses simultaneously. Because once we get the second course, the higher paying one done, get them both done, you can run a crowdfunding campaign for that too. And that's your second one. You're going to run that in 6 months. You know, and you follow the same exact method here. Just a different intro video in the beginning. And the whole thing works, you know, and then you keep selling them. You keep selling them. Are you ever going to take these ads down? Well, no, why not? Just keep making another and making another and making another. And of course, they're going to know who you are because you're going to keep mentioning it here. You're going to mention it every chance you get in the initial video. You're going to mention your name. You're going to mention, here's what I've done and here's who I am. You don't have to sell them CDs. You don't have to sell them t-shirts, but every once in a while you just drop a link in there. Hey, if you haven't gotten it yet, the new one just dropped. Get it here. And it's your audience. It's your people. It's your group. You know, I mean, you can't just go into other people's groups and do that. But what happens when that group's got 10,000 people in it, 20,000 people in it, because you've been running these ads for the last year and a half, you know, and you've got tens of thousands of people in a group, and now you drop a CD, what's going to happen? They're all fans of yours. And not just fans of the music. You're their mentor. They're a captive audience. This is a no-brainer. This is profit. I'm telling you, this works. This is effective. 5 years from now, you have to change this up. It's not going to work forever. Believe me, I've been around long enough to watch this landscape change multiple times. But this is going to work for a while. This is going to be effective for the next couple of years. You know, and this is exactly, if it were me, this is how I would be investing my money right now. This is what I would be doing. You know, and so yeah, it took us a while to get to this point in our various presentations, but this is really what we're after. This is where it all comes together. This is the glue right here that holds it all together. Still requires some data testing, some split testing. You know, you still need a landing page. That's not going to change, and it needs to be properly designed, and the ad copy has to be good. But we've got the offer down. We got the platforms. These are the platforms. This is the offer. This is the course structure. This is the crowdfunding marketing structure. It's all here. You know, but if it's not executed, if it's not implemented, then it's not going to mean anything at the end of the day.